Now, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing the host of our QuickBooks Connect conference. He and I met several years ago, and he instantly impressed me. Not because he's a great guy, and yes, a great-looking guy, but because we share a passion for entrepreneurs and for small businesses. And it's been an incredible partnership over the years together. In fact, he was our ambassador last year at the Small Business Big Game Super Bowl ad giveaway. And so when we developed the concept for this inaugural QuickBooks Connect, he was clearly our first choice to be the MC and the host. Now, some of you may have known him as Donald Trump's first apprentice. Others may know him as the husband of Juliana. Others may say the father of Duke. Some say, hey, he's a best-selling author, and we all know he's a serial entrepreneur, but I know him as a friend and an inspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming my buddy, Bill Rancic, to the stage. Yeah, keep clapping.
Hey, guys. My brother.
How are you, man?
Well, Brad and I have a real bromance going here, many will say.
I got the better end of the stick.
But, you know, he's a modest guy, and I have to just brag on him for a minute because standing up on the stage really reminds me of what we were doing almost a year ago to the day. We were out changing lives. And I've met a lot of CEOs over the last decade who talk a great game, but Brad Smith is a guy who walks it like he talks it. And last year, he got behind a program called Small Business Big Game, and we got to travel around the country and meet small business owners, literally coast to coast, and have an impact on their lives. And we awarded one small business owner a commercial that ran during the Super Bowl last year. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was a life-changing event. We're going to meet her a little bit later, but I have to really applaud Brad and his whole team for what they do and the fact that they really try to make the difference in the small business owner's life, because as a small business owner, that means a lot. So thank you, Brad, and thank you everyone at Intuit.
You got it, brother.
So last year we got to change lives, and it felt pretty good, didn't it?
It sure did. I loved it.
And I'm always shaking Brad down. What do you say we do it again today?
I'm all in, man. I am ready to rock and roll. So I'll tell you what we did. Over yesterday and about 12 hours before yesterday, we had a group of developers get together and participate in a hackathon. Now, for those of you who don't live in a binary world of zeros and ones, this means no sleep, pizza, and trying to get an app built very, very quickly, and then you get 3 minutes in a pressure cooker to pitch to some of the biggest names in the industry, from venture capitalists to actually analysts and press. And then we selected winners. And it wasn't just the fun of the pressure and the competition. We're here to give away today $100,000 in prizes to those winners.
Wait a minute. We can do better than that.
All right.
It's 100 grand. Let me hear you back there. There we go.
All right, 100 grand it is. Now, what we're going to do first is we're going to congratulate the winners. These winners all get $15,000 each because they had an incredible showing. And I'm going to ask them to stand up. We'll put the spotlight on them. They're color coordinated. It'll be easier to find them. First winner here for $15,000, the Payments Cloud by Cloud Conversion. You can stand up, man. You got to get a little applause. There you go.
Actually, we're going to have to take that back because you're out of uniform, sir.
That's right. All right, our next winner, $15,000, Safety Net by Jobber. Very, very cool. All right, and our next winner, Service Titan by the Service Titan. You almost threw this West Virginia hillbilly for a loop on that one. That was like, that's called alliteration in English, right? Service Titan, right? See, you all thought I skipped class. All right, hey, and then congratulations to our grand prize winner who's going to leave here today with a $55,000 prize. The overall grand prize winner, let's give it up for Method Donations by Method. All right, that's just one of many great gifts we'll have the opportunity to give today. And without further ado, the junior varsity is now going to exit the stage and leave you in the great hands of Mr. Bill Rancic.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. All right, see you.
Wow. Well, first off, welcome to the very first QuickBooks Connect conference. I am thrilled to be the MC. This is history in the making, and it's only going to get better from here on out. So welcome, everybody, today. It's wonderful to be in a room full of small business owners. Where are you at? Accounting professionals, where are you at? Wow. And developers, where are you at? But I'm excited, but what I'm most excited about is that I'm in a room full of adults. Let me explain. You see, my business is a family business, and my sister Karen works for me. And she has a hard time saying no to people when they put in requests. So Karen recently got a call from a young woman at the Delta Gamma sorority house at Purdue University, and they asked if I would come and speak on behalf of the Delta Gamma sorority house. And my sister, of course, said I would love to. And I actually was okay with it. I thought, I'm going to go back to a college town. I thought I'd be the big guy on campus. This could be a lot of fun. So my buddy John and Ari heard I was going, and they wanted to come. So we had our suits on, and we're walking out the door to go to the plane, and there's my wife, Juliana, and she's standing at the door, and she starts laughing at us. And I said, honey, what's so funny? She said, well, you know, they're going to think you guys are going there for Parents' Weekend. I hate when my wife is right, because she was. And I got there, and I'm at the Delta Gamma sorority house, and I'm doing a meet and greet, and this young girl comes running up to me, and she's all excited, and she's got this big smile on her face, and she's saying, oh, my God, I never missed an episode of The Apprentice. I watched you week after week after week, and I'm kind of smiling, looking over at my buddies. And then she went on to tell me she was in 7th grade when the show was on. Boy, I felt old. But it got me to thinking that that first season of The Apprentice, believe it or not, was 11 years ago that we filmed it. And for me, it was a life-changing event. And I got to travel all over the country and different parts of the world and meet so many different people. And no matter where I go, people will stop me, and they'll ask me the same 2 questions. First question they always ask me, is Donald Trump's hair real? It is. But the second question they want to know is if I knew I was going to win that business competition show when I first started taping. And I have to be honest with them, I had no idea. I was competing with 15 other contestants. We had people from Harvard and Yale and some impressive schools. I was just a small business owner from Chicago. And I tell them I didn't know where I was going to stack up in the mix. But I go on to tell those people, if you were to ask my mom claims she knew I was going to win The Apprentice when I was 10 years old. And when I was 10 years old, my mom knew that I was born to be an entrepreneur. And it all began on my parents' anniversary weekend. You see, my mom and dad were going out of town to celebrate their anniversary, and they decided to ship me off to my grandmother's for the weekend. I wasn't happy about it, but I went. And I woke up Saturday morning, and there was my grandmother in the kitchen. She was making breakfast. And I was probably like many of you. I was very inquisitive. I would always ask a million questions. You know, what goes here? How does this work? Why are you doing that? So I started inundating my grandmother with all these questions, and she decided she was going to pull me in the kitchen. She was going to teach me how to cook. So I spent 7 hours in my grandmother's kitchen that morning, mastering the art of making the pancake. That's right. I could make blueberry pancakes, banana pancakes, you name it, I could make it. So I went to bed that night, woke up Sunday morning, I popped out of bed, I raced into my grandmother's kitchen. First thing I did is I picked up her old rotary telephone, and I called all the old ladies who lived on my grandmother's block, and I invited them to come over for a pancake breakfast. This is true. I can't make this stuff up. And they came over, and they had a wonderful time. I'm flipping their pancakes in the air. They're pinching my cheeks. They thought it was the cutest thing they'd ever seen. And when they finished, I made a rather interesting discovery. You see, when they finished, I started clearing their plates away from the table, and I discovered that each and every one of these ladies left a $5 bill underneath her plate. I thought, I'm on to something here. So I did what I thought was perfectly normal. I took the money, I put it in my pocket, and I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say a word to anybody. I went back home, and the week went by, and Friday afternoon, the school bus dropped me off in front of my parents' house, and I went blazing in the front door, demanding that my mom take me to my grandmother's for the weekend. Well, this went on for the next 5 weekends, and my mom couldn't quite understand this new relationship that I'd formed with my grandmother, or I guess I should say partnership that I'd formed with my grandmother. And then my mom was in my room one day, and she made a rather interesting discovery of her own. She was putting something in my sock drawer, and lo and behold, she discovered my stash of $5 bills, and she freaked out, as any good mother would, and she immediately sat me down, and she demanded to know where a 10-year-old boy was able to come up with all this money. And I had to fess up, I was running a makeshift restaurant out of my grandmother's house. My mother put that business to an end immediately. She claimed I was fleecing these old ladies out of their Social Security checks. But the lesson I learned from my grandmother, interestingly enough, at 10 years old, and it's something that stayed with me my whole life, is in order to be successful, you have to be able to recognize opportunities, but more importantly, seize those opportunities. And the two people that I'm about to introduce you to have done just that. They have found opportunities that others looked over, and they pursued those opportunities with passion and with vigor. They're very inspiring. First up, she was bothered by the lack of women that were in her engineering program at Stanford. She was mad, and she wanted to do something about it. She wanted to disrupt the pink aisle by creating a toy that would introduce young girls to the joy of engineering. Everyone said she couldn't do it. They laughed at her idea. They said that she would get beat up by Barbie, right? This concept. But she didn't listen to those people. She pursued her dream, she followed her gut instinct, and today her business is booming. Today her life is exceeding her dreams. Now, frustrated, this gentleman, he was frustrated because there was such a lack of health and beauty products designed for people of color. So he decided that he was going to build his own version of Procter & Gamble. And he decided he was going to start with a single blade razor called Bevel. Tristan is now reinventing the way Black, Latino, and Asian consumers, which, by the way, is America's fastest growing and most culturally important sector of business out there today. Right on, sister. But he's changing how they learn about, how they purchase, and how they enjoy health and beauty products. Let's take a look.